Welcome back everybody to a new weather video. If you haven't yet, please like, comment, subscribe if you want more of these videos. And let's get right into this video. So we're dealing with major fire danger across the plains. Dealing with fires and very dry conditions all across here. But the reason for this is because of the fact that we do have another system rolling in. It's going to have a dry, basically a dry front. So on this side it's very dry. There's not a lot of moisture and it's very windy. But on this side it's very moist. It's very moist and all sorts of stuff. So, but yeah, and then over here we're going to be dealing with some cold conditions, and then right and down here we're gonna deal with some windy conditions too, including here. It'll be very windy across here, and very windy across here. And then up here we're dealing with major flooding. And right in here too, because over the past this week, we've been dealing with nonstop severe weather. So today is somewhat of a break across a lot of these areas, but it's going to ramp up again. So today we do have a slight risk down in Arkansas, and we do have a slight risk for severe weather across New York and New Hampshire, I think. And then we have a marginal risk for severe weather. So we have this marginal risk down in Texas, but this storm system here will be pushing off, and this right here is just regular thunderstorms, but this is the precursor to what's going to appear for tomorrow's severe weather risk. So today we have no indication of no strong tornadoes at all, but we do have that small 5% chance of seeing a tornado up in New York State today, and then we have a 2% of seeing tornadoes down in Arkansas, Tennessee, and a little bit of Mississippi today. So, and then we do have that wind risk up here, up in New York, higher percentage up there. But for down here, we could see some very large hail today, because we have that significant one risk for seeing 2-inch plus, including a 15% chance of seeing hail, and then a 15% of seeing hail up here. But right through here, well, you won't see that big of hail. So let's go back. Let's go here. Let's look at tomorrow, because now we can look at tornado risk and all that. So tomorrow, severe weather risk is going to be very significant severe weather. So we have enhanced risk for Wisconsin, Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, Kansas, and Oklahoma. If you live in these areas, please be weather aware. We could see very, very damaging winds and very intense tornadoes across this general area. So yeah. And then for tornado risk, we do have that significant risk 1 tornado risk across here, including a 10% of seeing strong to violent tornadoes across Iowa, a little bit of Minnesota, and Wisconsin. Could this expand? Yes, it can. It could. I'm not saying it will, but there's a chance it will. So, so there's that. Am I? Oh, technically, I'm literally on the edge of this. So yeah. Wind risk looks to be very significant. We have a Sig 1 for damaging winds, including a 45% chance of seeing destructive hurricane force winds across Kansas, Oklahoma, or Missouri, and Iowa. So if you live in this purple area, red area, significant area, you could see hurricane force winds, which is technically 80 mile per hour winds or above. So, and then the hail risk, we have a significant risk 1 down in this area with a 30% chance of seeing very large hail and a 30% chance of seeing very large hail too. So there's all that. So that is your Friday. And then Saturday we do have that marginal risk with most of Ohio and the slight risk. We'll see if this expands or not. We don't know what the tornado risk or any of that is yet. It's still too early. But here's what the possibility of getting severe weather, which is 15. This area has a 15% chance of seeing severe weather. So, and then right in here has a 5% chance of seeing severe weather. So there's that. So that is your severe weather for today. And then let's go to global. I like to do the true colors of this. So here's our map right now. Here's our next severe weather system, which is over here. And here's the current storm system that is pushing off with limited severe weather potential right in here and right up in here today. So yeah. So that's pretty much that. There's like nothing else to really talk about on this satellite. So, but yeah, severe weather right in here, severe weather right in here today. So be on the lookout for all that. I like to stay on here for this. So this is 15Z. It's only 27%. We're gonna look at the 14Z because it's fully completed. Actually, no. This is shorter range model. I think yeah. We're gonna look at a 12Z model because it's a bigger model, so bigger time frame for the model. So, all right. So today, like I said, we actually might be getting some severe weather down in Missouri and not across Arkansas, just by what this is showing. And we may get some strong storms up here today, up in southern Michigan, central Michigan today. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. So, but we'll have to watch this area for any severe weather, and if we get these little tiny supercells that pop up, it could cause a little bit of rotation there. So there's that. This is very weird though. Like you get some. This is either a warm front pushing, or I don't know what this could be, but this, just by what this looks to be like a warm front. Which, if it is a warm front, we could have these storms could have some severe weather in them as that warm front pushes through, and then eventually I didn't want to do that. So and then we do get not a good supercell developing up here, which would be the start of the major severe weather. And eventually, we do get this. We do eventually get this big, giant line that just pushes through. That will have at first will have supercells that eventually congeal into one big giant line. Which this line could have, and it could have some damaging winds, tornadoes. Uh, so this whole entire area could be infected with a large to violent tornado. Eventually becomes one big giant wind threat then at the end of the day. So eventually that will pull through and we'll have a just regular thunderstorms by morning in a lot of these areas. So while we're at it, we can actually just look the most unstable at most unstable. So this I would say is probably peak. In which, if we're looking at the peak right here, we're talking about Cape being over 4,500. Yeah, 4,500 uh, up in this general area, which will definitely support very large to violent tornadoes all across here. I would say right in this general area doesn't really support large tornadoes, or I would assume I would assume in this general area doesn't support large tornadoes, but I would say in this general area could support large tornadoes. Right here supports large tornadoes, but in this general area, it definitely support large to violent, large to violent tornadoes in that area. So, so this right here will show us where the greatest tornado potential would be, and it'll definitely be up in this general area. But like I said, right in here that has that potential. It's very weak, but still supports somewhat of tornadoes. But this, but up, what did I just press? Oh, uh, but this area right here supports large to violent tornadoes, and then a supercell composite. We're definitely talking about some really, really good supercells across Wisconsin. We got some support of being right up in here and a little bit right in there, but it's definitely supportive right there. And then we'll go to significant tornado potential, which we're definitely off the charts here up in Wisconsin. And it definitely supports large to violent tornadoes up in Wisconsin for tomorrow. There is a potential to see some large tornadoes, but not. I want to say it's not as bad as Wisconsin is, and that's because of the fact that we have this cold front here with the low pressure system being right there in the warm front. So right up here is going to be maximized to the max. For that. This is just hail. Up updraft helicity. Um, so we definitely could get some very tall storms up here in Wisconsin that will support those large tornadoes. Um, So lightning, where these storms will have quite a bit of lightning in them. So, and then we'll look at the echo top, see how tall these storms could get. We could see 50,000 foot tall storms. We're maybe even pushing over 56. We might even see 60,000 foot tall thunderstorms. So yeah. And then now we're gonna go over here to the weather here. Go over to here, and that is broke. Or all of it's broke. All right, it's not working. All right. Unfortunately, I can't show you what forecast ahead of time is going to be. Maybe I could show it on here. I don't really like showing it on here because um it doesn't really show like great how good it is. So we'll go to this 06Z. So like I said, we got uh we got Friday into Saturday, and then nothing for Sunday, nothing for Monday or Tuesday, nothing for Wednesday popping. Uh, Thursday, look, you might get something right in here. We'll have to keep an eye out for that, and then we might get some more action right up in here. Looks very interesting though. And then Sunday might see something right up in this general area by the looks of it. Then we're back to Monday. Monday looks to be right in this general area for severe weather. So yeah, that's pretty much what's going to be happening. If you appreciate these videos, please hit that subscribe button. Please turn on the bell for when I post videos every day. I'll probably do another video this evening. That's if there's anything dramatic that changes it for the forecast for tomorrow. So I do like a 5-minute video talking about tomorrow if anything major changes happens. So, but if you haven't yet, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow with a new video. Peace.